They moved with us, good indicator, could be man. We ended up in a 300 formation. Now we're running away, and there's a guy right there. Hey, man, I'll pay $65 for this thing. Right there. You guys see that little red dot?
Yeah.
Man, that makes me feel good. It was like 30 bucks.
I want one of those cookies.
Yeah, actually, my wife did it. My birthday the other day. That's what I got for my damn birthday. Somehow, I don't know.
Nice toy.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so anyway. Now look, I got it. I can't even work one of them. All right, so anyway, back to serious business. Realize it's man here now. We're expecting some kind of pressure, so we should get a rub route and all. Let's see what transpires. Number 7, not a very good rub route, but touchdown. Yeah, crosser and man, hard to guard. Okay, here we go again with, I think, a 2-receiver waggle. This time it's a called route. It's a post and fly versus 2. We're trying to put that corner on an island. They did a nice job of seriously defending it, and the guy sort of went back into a 4 look, but we still were, I mean, that was more athlete there. You know, I badmouth our kids all the time. No, we have some good kids. And, I love them too. Here comes the screen that we talked about. Fake, bump, screen, one-man screen. Not a very good job out of tackle, but you can see, you know, we got something. We're not always going to run across and let you do something to us. I think we saw him maneuvering over that way, and we came back, or we just thought it was time. Okay, what do we have here now? This is okay. Here's 2-receiver waggle. Watch the read man now. Get to his hash. Didn't look like he and drift inside because he felt like he was covered. So, I don't know. We've got a ton of this stuff, guys. That's the stuff I felt like we probably needed to alert you to. Now here comes a bunch of other mess. Right. Stop. Stop. I told you about 7 o'clock tonight. I'm going to have a break. Okay, the next area that we want to talk about, lead option, speed option. It has a lot of names. For us, it's called 90 option, all right? But here again, we're not going to be as good an option as the option teams that run option. However, we felt like option is sort of the diversionary tactic for us, that and either 5-step or 3-step passing game. So I'm going to talk about 2 options, and you know how many options we have? 2 options. Now this is going to be the first phase of it. They're all simple and easy. That's why maybe if I'm behind schedule, I can, we don't want our stuff to be complicated. I will give you a little history of the play. When I was at Madison, we had inherited a coach that worked there, and they had been a veer team, and this guy knew a lot more options than I did, and we had a good fullback. He was really good, but I swear he wasn't that much of a belly type. He was more of, if we could get a toss in, he played with Denver for a year. You know, it was, 6'2", 220. I mean, he was a stud. But we felt like he was actually more of an outside runner, but he was too stiff to be a wingback, and, he just didn't fit in. So we wanted to get him the ball at fullback, and he could run belly all right, but anyway. We're playing William & Mary. They're the number 3 team in the country. They had beaten like Virginia. They were 1-8. I mean, they were tough, and we were sort of struggling around there a little bit. But we unveiled this particular play, and that fullback has a school record. He gained 286 yards, and he gained 200, and I think 3 of them on this play. And that's the first time we ever unveiled it with the blocking scheme that I'm going to show you. 90 option or lead option is in some of the wing tee books that Teddy and Tubby have published, but we have a different spin on it, and it's slightly different, but we like it. It works. Here again, as the years went on, that was 86 when that kid did that. So what's this year? 98? That's 12 years ago, 11 football seasons ago. So we've continued to run this particular play However, you know, the first 5 or 6 years it never averaged less than 8 or 9 yards a carry, which I would like to think is going to happen with you guys when you first unveil it. But as the years wore along, we became a little less at running it for whatever reason, and I don't know, it was down, the last I looked at my last set of statistics there, it was somewhere around 6 yards a carry. So it's still good, but it's something that we run, in the old days when we were killing everybody with it, we ran it about up to 40, 45 times a year. I think the last, oh boy. The last few times that we ran it, it was down around the 20s, 20 sometimes a year. It's a good check. The problem with running it as a check is that sometimes you're not in the right formation. That's what I find I have a problem with it in terms of checking into plays at times. I don't want our quarterbacks to worry about the formations, so I give them plays that they can check to, on formation. So we're not always in the right formation to be running this particular play, so we don't check to it as much. Pardon me? I didn't take that AV course, baby. I don't know. I do know how to open one up, though, I think. But one other thing before I get going, when we talk about, you know how you guys were talking about that number 4 crowding the line of scrimmage and all that. 2 receiver waggle helps control that number 4.
He's going to get you something else, Coach.
Pardon me?
He's going to get you something else, another machine.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see where I can write. All right. Let's talk about lead option now. All right. Well, hey, look, there we go. Now I just got to do it the old-fashioned way. Flexible. Okay. Great. Obviously, it's a great play to get outside. Options and outside play. My mentality, my way of thinking about the play is that it's a lot like running a fullback toss, except the guy that normally tosses the ball and fakes a wag or a bootleg, the quarterback, a non-factor in the play, becomes a real factor in the play in that you're going to make a trade-off. You're going to make that end take him, and then you're going to pitch the ball. So I was talking with Coach, what's your first name again, Coach? Coach Bell. Coach Bell. And he was like, option. Oh, man, I bet the quarterbacks, you're going to get your quarterbacks killed. One of the things that, since I work with the quarterbacks, and, we're pretty friendly, we want to make sure they didn't get killed. So every option that we run, the one you're going to hear about, it's a safe ride for the quarterback if he does what he's told. So we thought it's safe. We don't want our quarterbacks getting hurt. We just need something that we can get the ball outside. Okay, we're going to use our extended motion again, or we can line up in 300 again. Notice now, based on our 2 receiver waggle and stuff, we're not, that's not the only thing we're going to do out there, but we're going to still make sure that guy doesn't know whether to shit or want to watch, all right? So, but we'll get to that later. Let's go through our assignments. Okay, if I'm to spread in, I got a play coming my way, and remember, I'm his coach. What do you think he's got to do? Stop. All right, stop. He's only got 2 rules, stop, stalk, or cut off. All right, so he's going to get as much width as he can, and boy, we could talk forever about the stalk, block, and we changed a little bit. But you know what? The bottom line is this, and I'm not going to get as much technique we can out there a little bit. You get toe to toe with the defender. If he takes an angle, you meet him at that angle and stay squared up. You absorb him, but you don't ever let him run through you. You try to stay square. If he goes, you punch. You know, if he wants to go some way, you fight pressure with pressure. What we were looking for is you to get in a hand fight with that guy and just stay with him. We weren't looking for you to kick him anywhere, do anything. It's up to the running back. We tell our running backs, if we got somebody in a hand fight with somebody else and he gets you, that's on you. That's all we wanted our wideouts to be able to do, is to get toe-to-toe and slide and stay. And there's a million techniques that we talk about, but you know, that's the bottom line, man. And I prefer you to listen to one of them guys that's got a million techniques, but it comes from right there, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Don't let him in the play. Don't give him inside access to the ball. You stay toe-to-toe with him. You stay square. You get your thumbs up. Keep your hands inside. Keep your feet moving. Not much more we can say than that. So he's got the split end, has a stalk, assignment. The run-to man, let's go ahead and get the perimeter in there. Okay? He has a stalk assignment. And his assignment is usually to stalk the flat defender, in this case, stalk number 4. Now you notice when he comes up that seam, remember how we said if he got beat up, you know, on his route, I'm not so sure that everybody knows the difference between when he's coming up on his route now. Now we've got this guy in the bind. Or we're coming up to, we're coming up to block it. And we teach these two guys the same kind of stalk principles. You get head up, we're not interested in you pinning them down or kicking them out. Once you get head up and stay. But what we really want you to do is not start engaging too early. Stick that guy. Set up your two-receiver wagon route. We want that guy to bypass if you can, but you never allow inside leverage to the football. So as an example, if that guy was up there on a blitz, coming on the outside blitz, we would modify, choke it down, make contact right on the line of scrimmage. So we're going to save a bad play if that guy's going to come with some type of pressure, but right now, we're just keeping the cover 3. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically, all have the same thing except for 3. Everybody's assignment is fire on backer, block number 2. Okay, that's very important for that tackle. Fire on backer, block number 2. We start numbering our option people a little bit different than we did on the back side of wagon. We start numbering people in this gap. We don't number anybody on the nose. We start with the play side gap. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so fire on back of block number 2. Who's number 2? Your linebacker. Right? Okay? Oh, shit. It looks pretty on my paper. I can't.
It's okay.
Will this thing come down? Is that as low as it'll go? Do we know? Is that as low as it'll go? Yeah. Hang with me and make me push this thing up. Remind me, Mike, push it up. Michael. Okay. Fire, for those of you that aren't familiar with our terminology, fire is a 45-degree step, and we're always trying to get the outside, not only get outside positioning This guy's on, so he's fire on backer. We talk about him getting the outside attitude on that guy. Cut him off, get his outside number, don't let him fight across your face. The center, fire on backer. There's nobody on him, so he's going to fire. Make sure we're not getting an A-gap blitz. On, nobody on me, so now he's going to try to get up to that backside backer. Fire on backer. Fire on backer. Now, with a 7 technique on the backside, we played it 2 different ways at times. We told the tight end to go underneath at times to the cutoff. Cutoff is where you think the ball is going to break, if it gets through clean. And there's times we said, okay, game thing, depending on how hard the guy was playing, this outside release, as you fire on, you pitch back tackle. So we've done it both ways. Take the board. So in reality, maybe this is a good thing that this one broke, because everybody got the same assignment. Fire on back. Okay. Now, a couple things here. Here's where the play gets good. The right halfback was considered what we call the read back. He goes backer to free safety. And his course or his path takes him 1.5 yards outside the pitch key, which is an lead option. We always want to pitch off number 3. One and a half yards outside the pitch key. Now, if for some reason I get irritated too easy. I'm trying to be a better person too. All right. If we're running for the outside, if we're running for the outside, 1.5 yards outside, and all of a sudden now the end widens to that point, or wide gets a little bit wider, we'll allow you to go inside. Okay, and the reason being because you got an important block in here. But let's just say nothing happened. Free safety, that's the one right there. That's the important play. You know as well as I do, even though that 4-4 look there, that tackle, if he was like my tackles, even though that guy's a whole man or a man and a half inside, we never got to him, more than 40% of the time. And that's the guy that can lick you up on any option, particularly a lead option, full flow play. He's scraping, he's going to get you. And so years after arcing these guys and all that, we thought it was a little bit better to make this guy go backward to free safety, so that now, if that guy crawled over your face and beat you, tackle, you stayed at the same level, and now you help pick the next backer. But we expect you to get now, I got 3 men down inside of you, we expect you to at least get him or make him run a hump anyway. So if that occurred, that's why he's the read back. He would wall off on the backer. All right? So now we got you all, I would hope we got enough people assigned everybody in there. We got 2 basically on the front side backer, 2 on the back side backer, and then, we got our grunts versus their grunts. So we'll take that. Now, the quarterback came out and he had to get some depth, right? Because you know as well as I do, there's always a little penetration in there. So he came back, and this is the way we used to do three-step, and we never changed it. But he would come straight out of there, get what we call a hop step, get some depth, and then he would replace. But his eyes aren't where mine are. His eyes, once he came out of there, were right at the pitch key. And I didn't care if he pre-snapped, that's the pitch key. I didn't care. You watch the pitch key. That's your responsibility. You know what the pitch key is doing. So he comes out over the ball. I didn't care. We weren't big on. We're going that way, but we got enough people to block you. But in reality, we didn't want. I'm overstating it a little bit. Get up here. But the minute you came back, your eyes went there, and then you replaced your feet. You settled. And you hesitated. We thought by replacing we would at least delay you 1 second. And what we're really trying to do here, let's don't misinterpret what we're trying to do. We're trying to buy time so that our fullback can get a 5-yard, that's 5 yards of width, and 2 yards of depth from where you're going to pitch the ball. So, boom. I didn't like what I just did then. I'm trying to make eye contact with my audience. All right, there's my pitch key. That's what I should be looking at right now. Say go, settle, and now as I push off with my left foot, we did it 2 ways, and I like the second way better. We ran for your outside shoulder. And as I ran for your outside shoulder, the reason I like for you to run for the outside shoulder, we said the minute minute your outside shoulder turned to me, I settled, and I pitched the ball. Now, we also said we don't ever want our quarterback who is unprotected to take a terrible hit. So as I ran down for your outside shoulder, you know what I mean, and you started coming to me, it's hard for you to come to me and really hit me hard if you're feathering me, we said. But we never wanted our quarterback, there again, to take a hard hit. So, we wanted you to commit to me, and we felt like you had a harder time, or it was easier for us to teach. Because you've got to come in, if you're going to tackle me, yeah, you could tackle me like that as I'm running, I know, but you really want to get me, you're going to turn and unload. So we felt like if we ran for your outside shoulder, it was a better teaching aid to tell our guy when to pitch. We didn't want him, it wasn't a run at him, and when he gets a hold of me pitch, it was run at me. And the minute I know that you're committed to me and you can't get my butt, he gets keep away. That's what we try to tell our guys. It's just a game of keep away. You do it all the time. What do you do at home? You got a little brother. And we talked about settling the hips, flipping the wrist, turning the thumb underneath, and we wanted a chest-to-chest pass. Now, as I got quarterbacks in at times, some of them were option kids, where we talked about they couldn't throw that good at times, so we had to go through a lot of throwing. If they had another way they pitched the ball, I wasn't as big a stickler on you got to pitch it the way I want it pitched. And particularly going left, we got little quarterbacks too. Going to the left, if they had a problem pitching with their left hand, we didn't care if they basketball, chest, we taught a 2-hand chest pass going to the left if their hands weren't big enough, because we had some little ones at times. Okay? Now, you can see what we got here, man, and you've got that guy blocked, that guy's not a factor, that freak might be over there somewhere. If that, what I've just drawn up here is the worst case scenario of the play, meaning the tackle didn't get number 2. And I told you, about 50% of the time, he got number 2. All right, so let's do it with him getting number 2. What's his assignment? Back of the free safety. Okay? I got a few diagrams, but does everybody have the rules written down? I can get me another sheet on here. Does everybody have any? The rules are simple. Hey, fire on back, block 2, so play side tackle. Okay, let's keep the 8-man front going up here. All right, let's say we got that guy. Now, as he ran past the pitch key, he flattened out now so that he can pick up the free safety down there. We've got the run-to guy on the outside back of the strong safety. And what have you done here, man? I'm not Einstein, but look, you've traded a guy on tall sweeps. The tall sweeps, he goes, woo, goodbye. For now, a way that he's not going to get hurt, not even going to get touched. And, you know, I've seen our guys pitch the ball and start running backwards. Good, we like it. We don't want you. You're unprotected. We don't want you to take any type of hit. We've traded that guy for the guy that can hurt tall sweep, the perimeter defender. So we've traded that guy as a non-factor in tall sweep. And now what do we have? We've got everybody blocked. We got a man, a body on everybody, and now all that garbage in there is getting hung up, and now we're off to the races. Okay, these are the plays that are so simple. After all the teaching that we do, and here again, I'm not so sure though that you can constantly say, well, you know, that play, you said it was good to us too. We should run it 70 times a game. I'm not sure you can, you know, but I mean, I think people can stop this. You know, you can do different things that we wouldn't want to run this play. Like, you know, we don't like it as much versus corner pressure and all, but we'll still run it. I'm just saying, remember what this play is. It's a supplement to some of the things that they're doing. You would want to run it if they're all packing inside to stop belly, as an example. You would want to run it if they're squeezing you off. By angling or pinching inside with those tackles, or maybe the ends coming down inside. It's a way to the weak side to have a nice perimeter play. Okay? I wish I could tell you there was a lot more to it, man, but there's no more to it than that. It is that simple. All right, obviously what? We've got to be able to run it to both sides. Do you want to see it versus a 50 look? Okay, all right, now, just for purposes, just so you don't get too hung up, we didn't like it versus that, particularly if you put the strong safety over there. Now, see, there's the way we don't like to run that play. Why? There's too many guys out there who don't like it. All right, so don't try to run it versus a 50 and a 5 technique. No.
Coach,
Question?
the same as if they brought your strong safety over with your run-to motion.
Yeah.
Same deal.
You mean right here?
I mean, some teams are like in a cover 3.
Yeah, they should do that. We plan on them doing that, Coach. But here's what I don't like about it. I don't mind that strong safety. I'm glad he's over there. I think it's wonderful. We got somebody to block you. All right? What I don't like is, look, outside leverage and another guy there. That's what I don't like. We plan on the strong being there, even if he started over there. They better put strong safety over there. So we don't even consider that not occurring. All right, but did you hear what I said? I don't like it. I don't like that. Now, I'll show you, but I'll show you what we try to do. You people that get the 50 look, is it shaded 50? Where's my 50 people? All right, is it shaded 50?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now, don't run it to the 5 side. Outside shade. But find the other side and just just so I can show you, we'll make them shake to the tight end of the wing because they want to stop buck sweep or they feel confident with doing that. So now the shade is in here, and this becomes their rush in, and this is their... Let's put Strong over here because he's coming anyway. Okay? All right, now, and this is something you might not want to get into or whatever, but we didn't mind running it against that look because we said a 4-eye was really a B-gap player. And as I say, everybody's assignment is firearm backer. We got a little more sophisticated with it and we really zoned it. Meaning, if we had an inside shade, an uncovered guy, those two were going to do what? Zone. Step and punch through, hold him off, and kiss up to the backer. It still worked. Firearm backer. Block 2. 1, 2. So the tackle, actually block 2, then those two sort of exchange assignments. So we got good at, these two are going to do the same thing, zone blocking. Now, I'm not so sure if you want to get into all that. Yeah, and some of you might be adjusting from an odd team that already is zone block. So this will be wonderful for you. Or guys, before we started doing much zone, we used to do, you can still man block it, but we found that, meaning let the tackle take the inside shade and let the guard try to get up to the backer. If it's simpler for you, you might want to do it that way. All right, but this is how we would do it. Now, 1, 2, 3, there's my pitch key. Stalk the flat defender. There he is. Release, stalk. Now here's where it became important to run for a point 1.5 yards outside the pitch key. I have seen the pitch key in this scenario, see stuff happen this way. I have seen that guy widen a lot more than a defensive end in an 8-man front. So if he does widen past that 1.5 yard zone, then you've got to still honor your back of the free safety assignment. That's where you might have to duck inside of a guy. But under no circumstances do you get hung up on that pitch key, because that ruins the whole play, because now the quarterback doesn't know what to do. You're already off your track, and it screws the play up. But now, if indeed we're on you. 5 and 2. From here, man. From here. I'll set up the cones if I get them. Replace eyeball. Eyeball number 3. Run for his outside shoulder. The minute it turns, he's committed to you. You're 5 yards and you're 2 yards behind the quarterback. Kick the ball. Yeah. Kick the ball, get your shoulder square, and go. Now, remember, this is the worst. I'm drawing it to you the worst. When you come through here, if that guy's vamoosed or blocked or whatever you want to call it, flatten out. Now you got them all blocked. It's like, I love it. Every time I go through this play, everybody's like, oh, goddamn. The minute, and the thing about this play is you're as good 10 minutes after you run it, once you get the quarterback squared around, as you're going to be. It gets good early. You don't have to 90-degree cut this one and all that bull crap. This is an easy play to teach.
Coach,
Questions?
cover 2, does it split in and duck out, switch mules or anything like
Cover 2,
that? Yeah.
game week. Usually, I told you before, as we ran across in motion, you better flip to 3, or we'll do what we did to Rhode Island, sneak that guy right up the flat and bang, bang, bang him the ball till you do something. But, in case you don't have that in your arsenal, we would have, we did it 2 different ways, okay? technically by the rules, the halfback's got the flat defender, so he should get on out there, and you should swim, and then, run an outside release so the corner might run with you. And we actually sort of thought that was the best way. That was a better way to do it. But, somewhere down the line, I don't know if we didn't drill it enough or what, everybody felt more comfortable. The kids did. See, I thought going like this, and then you holding that free on paper, that's a hell of a lot better way to do it, isn't it? But somehow it never worked in the game as well for us that way when we did it that way. We would actually stalk, tell that guy widen him out, and now, hey, being so condescending, but you got beat up half the day anyway. Well, let the corner beat you up for a while out there, because now you're in a stalk fight with him, but widen him out, and we would just make a call. And it was a game-week adjustment. All right, this week, I'll tell you what, if they stay in cover 2, you stay on, you go up the hash and you block the first free man you see. It might be the free safety. I mean, it's actually better when they are in that front, or in that coverage, that's the front. So we blocked it both ways. On paper, it looked like if you try to outside release, get to the free safety, you come up and take on the corner, looked a lot better on paper, but it didn't work as good for us for some reason. Mainly, let me just say this, probably 3 or 4 times a year, what we got usually when we ran across like that, even if they were in 2, usually you got some type of check to 3 look, and put the strong back in the middle. So, we didn't get that good at it, maybe, but that's the 2 ways we did it. Okay, obviously we want to be able to go back to the tight end with the same play, and it was equally as good. It was just as good back to the tight end to us. Okay. What do you want to see, 8-man or 7-man? All right, let's see it versus an odd again then. We probably liked it a little better versus odd if indeed this guy was what? The inside shape. Didn't like it if he was the outside shape. Wouldn't run it if he was the outside shape. Everybody's assignment is the same, except now, talking about the internal 5. Fire on back of block 2. All right? 1, 2, punch, over fire, or I'll tell you, all right, let's just block it on. Let's block it on. Not as good, we found, but, it might be easier for you to teach that way, man. Okay, fire on back. Consider that guy on you, you stayed on, you try to get to the back. All right, now, obviously we need to widen the perimeter. So if we did, now, here again, I don't want to just draw it up like nothing's going to happen. Any team worth anything might widen the corner and send the strong over here because now that's his strength. They might not, but we're not, we never felt like that we, got a perimeter advantage. They're going to do something to have somebody on your wide guy. Maybe not. But we always planned on it. And let's just say the strong safety came over there because now the strength has changed. And that's another beauty of the play. You went from a tight end and wing to twins. You're going from spread to pro. So it's forcing the defense to change right off the bat. Okay, now, since he was the widest guy, what did the widest guy do when it was the wide out? Well, he stalked, didn't he? All right, now, the tight end now goes 1, 2, 3. And as he's doing it, he's eyeballing what's happening there. That guy might be a little wider. And then everybody stalk blocks like we talked about. Listen, guys, we've tried all the different ways, and we found out that seemed to be the best. We used to tell them, pin them down, do this, do that, do this, do that. Just get on them and let the fullback go ahead and find you. You know, it's on the fullback. All right, now my left halfback becomes a read back. Remember, we're going this way with it now. Yard and a half outside the pitch key. Let's assume the block was made, or let's draw an arrow. Okay, it didn't get blocked. You know, the backer's climbing over the top. You meet him. If indeed, as you read, the backer was indeed blocked, you continue on because the free will be over there. Don't ever think the free's going to be back there anywhere. When you go to a free safety, plan on him being up the alley somewhere. That's what we told our kids. That free is not going to be where he's aligned. If you come out and you're doing this full speed, we said read back, but you read on the run. You don't get there and go, hey, how you doing? You know, you can see what's happening with that. All right, now the fullback. I didn't talk much. He uses a crossover step. And remember, guys, what's he doing? He's sprinting. All he's trying to do is get 5-2 pitch relationship. All the quarterback's trying to do with those steps is to do what? He pushes always off the left foot. I'm settling so that my fullback can get time to get out there. You know, if we had something else for him to do, we'd do something else, but don't misinterpret what that guy's doing. We do feel like when he drops back, the backers freeze a little bit because they're like, okay, is this pass? You know, when they go back, you know, they've been taught, wait a minute now, you know, or, and I'm not saying they drop in the pass, but they're going to freeze. They're not going to, it's not like he's showing you any type of run key whatsoever. So we feel like that in itself helps hold the backers, you know, whatever, 0.5 of a second or something. It helps give us a chance to block. Now we're going to run for that outside shoulder. The minute he turns now, we get the ball up. Now we're off to the races. Let's do it against the 8-man front over there. That's our pitch key. 1, 2. Well, you got a clean shot up to the backer there. It's a shame if you can't get him there, but we've missed him. Fire on backer. Fire, take your step in case you get the plug now. You fire, get inside attitude on him. As you fire, you get to the backside backer. Read back, 1.5 yards outside the pitch key. Oh boy, I'd like to think we could get him there. Flatten out and get to the free safety up the alley. Crossover step. 1, 2, replace. Outside shoulder. Kick the ball. And that looks like a 90-degree cut. We didn't encourage a 90-degree cut there. We wanted him actually rolling up into the button. Problems. You know, if we didn't, and we got rid of a lot of our problems due to our ability to change plays sometimes, but you know, I realize some of you don't want to do that. So, and for years we didn't either. So, if in other words you were getting some type of perimeter pressure, that guy was up on the line of scrimmage. Now it's a tight end, flattened out. You know, that guy was a perimeter pressure guy. And he's coming on what we call a fire. You know, he had to learn how to just drive him to the sidelines. That's what we said. You know, and you're trying to create a running lane in between the pitch key and the fullback. And you know, obviously that wasn't as good. But I'll be real candid with you. There was many a day when that tight end hit that outside back or a strong safety. I mean, there's a nice little alley in there, so that really didn't cause us to check out of the play a lot. I mean, towards the end it did. You know, when we didn't maybe mind quite as much, but you know, we didn't mind it too bad. And if they were pressuring, that's what we wanted anyway. Imagine that if that was coming through B gap, now the tackle's got him. now the halfback can get up to the free. You know, I mean, you got something going on there now. You know, so as the quarterback, as we did this, and this guy's coming, you got to usually a quicker pitch, a flatter thing, and now he had a little alley to run up through. That was probably the worst case scenario you can get. That and with the run-to guy and that guy coming with pressure. You know, because now you're in a hand fight right on the line of scrimmage, and we didn't feel like that was a fumble cause or anything, but we felt like, you know, depending on where the pitch was received and that guy, you know, it's not hateful. It's just not exactly the best. Sometimes, though, it worked. If you're in a hand fight here and you get outside of that, and that guy was supposed to be pressured, usually the pressure guy had to pitch, you know, it could be Katie Bar to throw anyway. So we really loved this play, and still do. And that's probably a harder block. You know, that guy's going to press the line of scrimmage, but we'll take it. We've run it against that kind of look before. And then as you went across, depending on where they're in 2 or 3, you got that. So, no, excuse me, you don't have that. You got the corner back there. But I meant, I'll show you what I mean in a second. You got it. And we encourage this guy to get as wide as he could in his motion. You know, so he's way out of there. Now you got the strong over there. You know, now that's who the tight end. Oops. That's who the tight end's going to try to get. You know, not a great front because that guy's getting off of stuff. But, you know, believe it or not, sometimes that's where the backers are anyway. You know, they've climbed. It's a full flow play. They're, you know, and so, you know, we put our guy in a position that that's where you got to block him. There's going to be backers scraping like hell. Are you allowed to cut out here? Is there, no cut? And our guys didn't always cut, you know, and I'm not saying that it's mandatory or great for the play, but some of them would. But I mean, if he's scraping in there hard, you know, you're just going to get inside leverage on that. So, you know, that's not optimum, but I'm going to tell you right now, what would you do on tall sweep or something? I mean, that's as good as tall sweep is if you're not blocking that. You're trading that guy for that guy. That play, to me, has still got a real good chance to work. And the guy that can lick you up, though, is a free safety, because now you probably will never, in that front, have a tackle. You're not going to get the tackle to get him. He won't even see him. You know, the tackle now is going to come in here, and at least you won't have that kind of pursuit, though. Would still consider it a good play. Now, what I don't consider a good play might be stretching it. You know, I mean, wouldn't say, oh, we can't run it there. That's not a place to run it. Still think we could make 8, 10 yards there. Other places probably better, but would not say, wait a minute, we can't run against that look. We would work that week and make sure we could get our 8 or 10 yards, because that's what you're going to get out of that play. Okay. Obviously, one thing that the last 2 or 3 years when we started getting into our 3 and 5 step game, one of the things when you do option, okay, and here again, remember what I said yesterday a little bit. We're not going to do some of the things as good as the people that run option. We're not going to run option as well as they do. We're not going to do a 3 and 5 step as well as the people that pass all the time do it. But we're not going to have to. Okay, so remember now, this play is a diversion. It is not your bread and butter. All right? So just remember that. Keep that in mind. It's something that they maybe haven't worked on. Maybe you haven't shown it. Maybe an option is a wonderful, wonderful thing. However, if you have option and there's ways that they can take it away from you by being aggressive on the perimeter, like I said, you have to have option pass. So if you've got option in, you got to have option pass. Now, here, the reason I bring this up is that we didn't try to be a good 3 and 5 step game, a good option team, and a good wing T team. That's way too many things for us to be good at. You got to pick your poison. But what I'm saying is, we had to spend a lot more time working option passes when we ran more option if we had that kind of kid. Do you see what I mean? So that took place in maybe more of our 5-step game. I'm saying you got to pick your poison. If you don't get anything out of this other than that, is you've got to pick what you want to be good at. You can't be good at everything. And in defense of our players, I'm not so sure we ever got good at option passes, okay? But they had to be part of it. They took up a lot of time. We worked on them a lot. And I don't know if I didn't have enough confidence in them, but year in and year out, we felt like they would be big-time plays for us, and they never were. And maybe part of the reason was sometimes they never stopped the option very well. So we didn't have people crowd us like you're talking about, or perimeter pressure. So, but you got to do it now. If you're going to commit to having wing T and some other diversions, I think you need to have the full complement of whatever those diversions are. My personal philosophy, take it or leave it. So if we're going to have the option passes, they want to be virtually look just like the option runs. So what we would do would sell the stalk, go, sell the stalk, that was a little shaky there. And go. And all we would tell our guys, come out, you get at them like you're going to stalk them, they're coming to you. Go. Now, the linemen would block it more like our teams. And remember how our old buddy, the read back was? All right, he's reading the backer and all. Well, now we're not going to let that guy go free on an option pass. So he had to automatically load. All right, and then everybody else blocked this baby, just like we block our three-step, which we'll get into, which is we block fronts basically. But on this one, this tackle's going to bump. He step down with his inside foot, keep his outside foot in place. The guard's got a guy on him, but he wants to keep his inside foot in place. He's going to step and get big. Right off there. Quarterbacks can come. These throws were down the line throws for us, though. As I do it, I'm gonna always push off my left foot, replace, come down the line, 1, 2, 3, but I'm gonna gain a little bit of depth. I do want to throw the ball about at the tackle box. A little bit deeper. He's not going to run down the hill quite as much on the pass. Now the fullback sprinted to a point out 10 yards outside the tight man, and he just sat there. So in case they all feathered off and we had this and this, we would throw the ball out there. And boy, that cost us one game too. We threw it out there, and we always told them pick it up because you never know whether it's a fumble or not. We threw it out there, and they fell on it. On film, it looked like it was a forward pass, but you know how officials are. So make sure you tell your kid to pick it up. So we feel like even if you fall off on us, the corner doesn't bite, that we can still dump the ball over there. So we feel like we got everything that's as safe as it can be. Love running this play. Now let's come back to the split inside and look at the pass. The guy was beating us up, that was a good one. He's got to get width away from that backer though, so he wants to be as wide as he possibly can and still give a stalk. Check down, go. Sell the stalk. Load. Bump, look for backward plug through B. Fire, keep your inside foot in place. Step in hand, step in hand, step in hand. You stay a part of it too, tight end. We don't want you going anywhere. Sit down. Come flat. We want you throwing on the run. Then you will be amazed at how much mileage you can get out of that if you decide to use it. It just seems too good to be true. I feel like that the read back was something that we had changed in there. That's the guy that makes the play go, because we could never make it go without blocking that inside backer in the past. But we really feel like it. I would encourage you to try that football play. And I don't try to tell anybody what to do, but I think for the amount of teaching time that you have invested, that it will pay dividends, because I don't think you got to invest much teaching time. Now, obviously, if you don't like the way your quarterback throws the ball around, then maybe it can be considered a high-risk play. If you don't trust your quarterback, that's something maybe worth considering in this package. Because I've had some that, I just didn't like the way they weren't real conscientious about, how they handled the ball and stuff like that. So all I could do is to make sure they handled the ball properly.
You say it built behind the tackle, you want to build behind.
Yeah. So now, as he came down on that one, you got to let it develop, but we didn't want the crowd to come downhill. We want to get away from that garbage.
Is there generally one of those two guys that's open more than the other?
Well,
That guy?
We always read outside in. And here again, we generally didn't, if the option was going and we're stalking them, you know what I mean? We were like, there's no real reason to run this pass now. It's when we started getting beat up in there a little bit, like, we told you to stalk. Hey, coach, that guy's just barreling in there. That's when it became a factor, and that's when you have to have it. And now, obviously, if you teach them how to stalk block, I heard Bill talking about stalk blocking. God dang, you'd never have to worry about the pass. He got a heck of a stalk blocking thing going on. But we never got it going like that. Get your thumbs in there and get them held up, grab the jersey, trip them, whatever you can do. But we got beat up a little bit, so we had to come up with something else.
Coach, what do you do if you're split in when you option pass to the tight end?
Runs the backside post.
Okay.
You don't ever drag him?
Somebody say something?
Yeah, you don't ever drag that into the across?
Very good idea. Probably should. You head coach? Drag him across there.
You could do it.
I'm not being funny. We just thought what we were trying to do was to defend the whole field and stuff like that. We just thought that he'd never. You want him to throw the ball. I mean, obviously, that's not one of those plays where you're going to be able to wait. I think, they're saying option, so they're sort of coming that way anyway. It's not like they're going, belly, no counter. It's like, option, no, option pass, keep on coming. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to get rid of it. And it's conceivable. One thing about that option pass, that when we were at Madison, and the one thing that I didn't get into a little bit was that at Madison, we cracked and arced, all right? Now, there's something I need to tell you guys. At Madison, when we cracked and arced, now you got something going on, with a pass. All right. So, yeah, that ain't gonna work, is it? You see that? Okay. Crack and arc the run two guys. See? He went up the boundary. He came in and cracked. All right. So, that's probably a much better route, and maybe that's a good reason if you wanted to crack rather than double stalk. But we found what started happening, we weren't making the cracks as much because number 4, the strong safety, could see you coming in there sometime and he would, could beat you and then you didn't have a play. If he beats you now, you're done. You don't have a play. What we found was that when you cracked an arc, the play would either go big or it was nothing. This way it's constantly 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 bust, Consider that better pass. Good God. It's better there. And even though we didn't come with game plan adjustments, we made our guys do the art thing, but we never did anything with it though. Okay. Got a little bit of film here, and then we're going to get out on the.
Got about 45 minutes in this session, Coach.
You see the television, man? We'll run to, stop. Oh, boy, look at my back here. There's his back. Okay, watch the read back straight, boom. Let's see what happens here. All right, tap, we doubled the back there a little bit. I would have gone up to the 3, but you could. Watch the read back. See, the tackle I thought had him, I guess he had outside leverage on him. So, you know what? For as much as we didn't know what the hell we were doing, God, I love him. But where's this wide out? God, bad down him so bad when he played. Look at him. Watch this little kid. He's on that guy for 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. God, kid weighed about 155 pounds. Whoops. Pitch. All right, here's what you get sometimes. Look how everything is just, everybody's just walled off. There's nobody around. There's just a mush pile over there. This is spread 3. Circle the field up on out there, big place here. I'm sorry we couldn't get that one. They're a 4-3 team. All right, we're in Pro 700 there. There's a cover 2 look. Coach, there's a cover 2, but we said just stay on it. We'll let the read back go on up. Next play, I think, Coach. See, we're going to try to stalk him like he tried to get inside leverage, but he didn't do very well. This is a runaway. We'll get into more runaways in a minute. We tell the quarterback, you're on your own now if you want to keep it like that. And I mean, that's on him. He wanted his name in the paper, I said, but my God. There's one where he ran at 3, see, and 3 went to the pitch. This is Youngstown. That was a check for us if we saw him in that front. Okay, this is an eagle look. We definitely got to widen that perimeter. All right, here you go. God, this is hard to see, but see, I'm big on watching the read back. Watch him. He comes in. Like I said, that's a nice job there. We got bodies on bodies, and I'm just telling you, I don't think this is a highlight, man. I think this is the ones that we did in a particular year that I happen to just have on file. And he didn't break the tackle, but even before he broke the tackle, he got it. get down there and yeah, that's what I got a ball for you. We were back this summer, split the pitch, rotated. We weren't that concerned about it though. You know, if the pitch was dead, that was fine with us. That's all we wanted. We didn't want to overcomplicate the pitch. We talked about selling your hips, your step at the pitch hand and pitch. We wanted a chest to chest, heart to heart pitch. And so how did we do that? Well, we got two guys 5 yards apart in the old what probably all of you do anyway. We can go down the line, down the line, down the line. Now coming back, we would say if you guys don't feel comfortable left-handed pitching the ball, we would actually say as you get it in there, we don't care if you basketball, two-hand chest pass. We weren't that big on a certain way to pitch the ball. We were big on making sure that it was a positive pitch. We didn't want it up in the guy's face. We didn't want it down in his knee. And other than that, we just taught one style initially, two hands, chest, if you felt more comfortable with that. So the very first thing that we would do, obviously, is get the quarterback 5 yards apart. And one thing that I made him do though is how they'll just run down. Very, very unrealistic. We would, I would really jump the bones of that. Hey, let's go fast, fast, fast. We wanted it a little more realistic. So actually emulate what we were doing. So, all right, once we felt like it was a decent off pitch to a degree, and here again, if we had some hot shot that had the latest and greatest technique, I'm not going to double something. I'm not going to say anything. He had a thing in his option. Honestly, coach, and there again, some guys did a lot better job. I was talking to somebody just a minute ago. The quarterback the fullback has shaky hands. You're not going to have confidence in the play. I wouldn't have confidence in the play. I'm not going to make this a diversion play because now everything is blocked, everything is right back there trying to get the ball. You don't want that to happen. But it is fairly simple. You saw how it was out there on the field. All right, give me the next thing that we would do after we did that, give me a quarterback, and then give me a fullback. The next thing we would do, we would talk about the step, about how deep we wanted them. So just give me that. All right, so we got that kick step, boom, push off your left foot, get some depth, replace. Okay? Now, we would have at that depth when we wanted them coming downhill. And the other thing we would do, we never had a defensive end out there initially. We would have a cone. Since I'm running short on cones, we would say, all right, that's where your defensive end guy is going to be, right there. And notice we don't even have a defensive end. But the one reason we wanted that occurs, we wanted that pitch happening around there so that I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, so that we could say fullback. That's about what 5 and 2 is. So you can see that's a lot farther than what you think. So now, what we wanted to happen was, we wanted this guy to realize what type of hellacious sprint he had to try to be at. By the time that quarterback got there, he wanted to here. That was the hardest part of the whole play. And, depending, initially, everybody thinks, oh, I'm running an option here, I'll wait for you. Well, you can't play keep away with this guy if you're only 2 yards outside of him. And that's what we said. The play won't work if you're 2 yards outside of the pitch key. You have got to get on your horse. Now you have got to slow your horse down so you can get out there where he belongs. And initially, we never did it with a defensive end. We just tried to get our timing down. And hey, guys, you'll never. I'm just saying, with your shoes on and all, you won't get your timing down. But you can see, how initially you probably really had to work it to realize what a 5 and 2 pitch relationship really is. Go ahead and just walk through it one time so we can just say on go. Set, go. Yeah, good fullback, good. There you go. Hey. I wish some of you guys had some more eligibility. That's a good job there. But you can see that's what we're looking for right there. So obviously we would run that left and right. And what I would try to do here again to encourage more repetitions would be maybe 2 fullbacks, 2 quarterbacks. That is 2 fullbacks, 2 quarterbacks, so that I can get a bunch of reps going and keep going. And, I'm over here coaching over there. I find that if you set up all these spacers and all the kids can set, they know where they got to get now, and you can get a lot more done. And they might be doing something wrong until you can get there, but at least, they have the cones and you can say, hey, they got real rough. I never encourage any type of option coming in at each other like we did this week. We always want to way for obvious reasons. All right, so now we get pretty good at the distance. It's all on air, so at some point it should straighten itself out regardless of, this guy isn't far enough. You got that correct. The quarterback's not really getting it done with his pitch. At some point they get better at it. Within a few minutes. I'm not talking about within 10 days. They get, they start working it out. So at some point during that day, we will try to get the defensive ends over. Or if not, we allow, if there's 2 quarterbacks at each station, after they've done it on air, we say, okay, quarterbacks, your defensive ends now. So now, each time they rep, one of them's the end, one of them's the quarterback. We try to have 2 quarterbacks at each station. All right? So, what's their landmark? They're trying to get me to turn that back shoulder. That's their read. That's where they're trying to get to. Here, again, what are we going to try to do? We're going to try to give them simple reads. We're going to try to go, in the beginning. We're going to try to make sure that they understand. Or we're going to go like that, and you're still coming from our outside shoulder. And that was something I didn't get to. When did my quarterbacks know when to cut it up? We said if they stayed square and they worked upfield, okay, that meant that they were going to the pitch man. So now you were allowed to run underneath after you got past their original position. And you saw against Youngstown where they got in a double eagle look. We know that bear look for them was automatic pressure. That was a check for us. But we happened to have that call in right when they jumped in the bear, or double eagle, whatever you want to call it. And this guy here actually had pitch. So even though he was 3 in that front, he went just like that. So the quarterback got to his landmark, and if you saw on there, if you saw 1 or 2 of the quarterbacks keep, that was one up. So, we would get our own men. Now let's go ahead and give me let me have another guy over here. I've been over here. Coach, have you done something there?
Nope. So go.
Okay. Look, I don't worry about that. Yeah, that's about what it looks like, maybe. Anyway, but now, as you can settle it down, I'm going to critique you here a little bit. He did a nice job with his steps, but now you can settle just a little bit more, okay? You want this guy. Well, I'll come for you. Oh, now right about there, see how that thing turned? I could technically, like you did just what I told you. I could, I know that that guy is done right now. All right, now, Is it a 5 and 2? Probably not, you know. But I like, you know, what you're saying. That's a perfect. This is a perfect teaching situation. Now, you know what? You can take one more step without you feeling like you're really going to get threatened or busted. You know, that's sort of what we're talking about. Now you're really, and he's getting a little more whipped. Now you've really done. Now we would tell you, I don't care if you can do that. I don't know if you saw my guys doing it. I wasn't watching them as much as I was. Guys don't read that, but you know, as much as we said, that's your, you know, run for that outside shoulder, pitch it right now. That would still work, but we're at the area now where what? I just said at 2 and 2, he might be able to go like this and still get his hand on that guy. Maybe not, but that was, you know, that's a good example as well. Your shoulder has turned, but I'm gonna use my sense here, Coach. I'm gonna, you know, I mean, I'm gonna buy a little bit more, and I'm still not gonna get hit. I know I'm still not gonna get hit. We worry about that. We don't want our quarterbacks getting, you know, they're not protected. We don't want them getting hit hard. But the reason we got your eyeball, and suppose this guy, is on a smash, you know, if he's bearing right down at you now, you know, you got to get rid of the ball right now. So that you know, that's a good teaching situation right there. That was wonderful. All right, let's try it one more time. To go. He gave a good look. Probably now, we encourage our guys, though, when they got past the line of scrimmage now, coming like this. 2 reasons. Coming up in here in that pursuit, you're going to suffer a harder collision. We would encourage you to keep going at an angle like that, so if you do get hit, you're going to still maybe get tagged a little bit, but it's going to be one of those angle deals, so you're not going to get very hard that way. You know what? We never like to play off the quarterback. If we thought that team was that tight, we probably, you know, yeah, or you know, we thought they wanted to do, travel us all the time and all. We didn't like it. Remember what I said? Diversionary play from the crowd on the inside, got everybody busting inside, and this guy maybe has or has not worked on option, or if what we found most of the time, and you saw it on film, we started back like that. Option, oh man, they didn't tell me about that. Boom, you know, he's really committed, and you know, it was easy, and we didn't want that guy, you know, to touch. We don't want him taking the beat. So, we get this down a little bit better. You can see now that's how we set it up, and we work it. We would work it on at least 2 minutes every day. Now, this is a quarterback that you two would exchange. Now, you can be the quarterback, and you're the guy. That guy's the quarterback. You know, we always got a chance after we felt like we could at least pitch the ball a little bit. We get our fullbacks 5 minutes a day option drill. Somewhere, somehow, pre-practice, during practice, during the kicking game, somewhere 5 minutes a day, we're going to work lead option. Notice how I put somewhere in our practice, 5 minutes a day, we're going to pitch with it, defensive end. Okay, but if Winston Stalling was playing, obviously at some point we've got to get the run-2 man, split in, the read back and lob, and usually this became a technique play. Let me have a left halfback over there, wing back. Anybody, coach? Let me have a set back here, dial back. What we try to do is, we got to get you, we're talking about run-2, 991 or run-2 lead option right now. We'll set up now in a technique period. Now, one thing that I haven't discussed with you is we put all the plays together, but I think all of you that have been in camp know technique usually means you've got your full backfield unit together. We usually try to do 1, 2, depending on how many we have. We've got 4 teams. We try to always have first and second group together, third and fourth group together, because we always want our counterpart holding the back. Reinforces two things. You've got to be the defender of what you're trying to block. I think it helps you understand a little bit about what's going on that particular week or that particular play. So the quarterbacks have already done that, right? They're the DNs. That's the guy they got to handle in this play. A left halfback will come over here and be a strong safety with a hand shield. Okay, for the run-to halfback. I'm the strong, and we had a shield, and we went through our stalk, toe-to-toe. We'll get into that a little bit here if you wish. My right halfback, who's the read back, would be a backer in the beginning, and then sometimes be what? The free safety, but he wouldn't be here. You know, he would be up the alley somewhere and make you come in and then do that. So we feel like when we run technique, we always want two groups together at one time. And I'm not sure how other people do it anymore. We've done it that way for so long. We think it's fundamentally the best way to do it. I think some people just run on air and run reps and get their tracks down. I feel like we can accomplish that thing. We expect you to still running your track. We expect your technique to be good. We expect all that. But we also feel like we can make sure that we're getting the blocking complements of the particular play also. All right. Now, as you come across here, let's just walk. We'll just try to individualize this a little bit. Okay. Let me have another left wing back in. Yeah. Okay, you're the strong, and I don't know if I ever felt like I was always. I was never satisfied, is a better way to say it, about what I felt like the run-to man could do to help his cause, so to speak. Felt like we did so much with two-receiver wagon and with other routes. I never felt like that we taught it well enough, or maybe I'm dreaming, but, you know, when it came time for stalking, I figured it would be so easy based on how many times we ran routes out of this that, you know, generally this guy should be worried a little bit more about, you know, here comes this again. This is some kind of, you know, I'm worried now that my outside might get threatened, pass or something. But somehow we seem to, our guys seem to always say, okay, this is blocked. And I don't know if they started stalking too soon. I never did a read out on it, but it felt like we wanted to sell pass a little bit. We felt like if you ran up, and we tell them run up like you're running up the alley, that guy will at times either expand, which will help you get going and expand with me if you'll expand. Then I meet you and I just go toe to toe, keep my chin back, and I just hand fight you. Boom. I'm not trying to beat you. Yeah, do all that. Yeah, go ahead. I'm, you know, trying to do all that, and I'm just gonna lose. You know. And I don't know. Sometimes I felt like, you know, we could do a better job. I don't know if you saw some of that on film. I guess it wasn't hateful. The other part was if you're in his way, the fullback ought to be able to use you. But somehow I thought we ought to be able to get great, you know, I guess, you know, great body position on him. Maybe y'all could do that. And now remember, you'll take him anyway. You know, we used to always say pin him down, and maybe that was part of the problem. Old days, pin him, do something with him. Now we just hand fight. You know, just shuffle with him, you know, fighting, pressure with pressure. Try to keep your feet, toes, right on top of his. Go on and on and on about that. Now, give me another back in here. Give me another guy playing right here. Okay, initially you had a back with a free safety assignment, so we always want you to honor what your assignment is. Remember, what your win was, your yard and a half outside the pitch kick. Our quarterbacks were always there for you to be a pitch kick, so I'm going to take my course a yard and a half right outside of you. Boom, boom. You just stay where you are. And now you got a bag or a shield, and now I'm going to get an outside attitude on you, which means my head goes past the outside number. I don't want you to crawl across my face. And if it was indeed a bag, we want you driving it with your head up. And now, you know, as you said go, you would just execute an option now with a full complement of that. Go. they have a receiver, helper, or coach or not, sometimes some receivers you put your star over there. You only got one man. One of them out base anytime. Wide out. So they stalked. Their stalk was similar to your stalk. You got every bit of the play except for the line. Right, let's run it one time. Do it. We got some of this play. Head nod. Let it get out there now. Go. Man, look, got it. Don't get any better than that. Coach, you got to put that one. I think if nothing else, so it worked like this way I used to do it. Dude, you can do it, down here. All right. Okay. The only other thing that we would do would be, obviously this was a split-in setup. We had it very well. We got this going on. The only thing now we got to teach is what to the tight end side. Not even the tight end in here. All right, now from this, now we're going to get in spread formation. So the split end would be on this side. So now we're going to run it to the tight end side. Same exact thing. You're going to look on the back. Obviously, that guy can switch you up. All right, that's fine. We would set him up, but the coach would set him up. You can't just say, send me back, send me back. All right, now, it's a tight end. Always want you to match up. So now, your assignment, no, when his is the arc. So you would get out here and hold a bag. I guess we got bags. And now we would encourage, after the tight end has already done this in group work, to do the 1, 2, 3, and now he's going to start block just like everybody else start block. This is the body. This is put him in a normal situation. That's either strong or outside backwards. But we were adamant about him taking 1, 2, 3 steps out here first to make sure we got the width that we needed. We didn't like inside access to the ball, but what you got to figure, come on, start coming inside on the inside. Now we can shuffle and pin. Our kids were petrified of that sometimes, so they would go, they were afraid of that, that's what I'm saying, so they wouldn't get out there in their width, because we told them, don't allow inside access to the ball, so instead of them realizing that I did take an inside access to the ball, we told them, don't worry, you'll just smash them into the play. If we had a problem, it was not selling them on, don't worry, make sure you get your 3 steps that goes inside of that. But our guys are kind of slow up too much. Like that. Okay, now, just like what you did then, the other thing we didn't like is we ran up, we run up here. Now we have to drive and create that running lane. Drive them to the sideline, we said. Drive them for 5. Make sure we're creating a running lane up inside if the guy recognized the option and was going to try to force. But hopefully after 1, 2, 3, here I got you. I'm not worried. Now if he's on this side of the line of scrimmage, that's where we wanted him, and we didn't care if he was on just on that sideline of scrimmage. Pull back and everybody can work with that. He can circle the field on that. He can get by that. What we didn't like is he pushed us in here before we got a chance to square up on you if we didn't like it. But if you did do that now, right shoulder right, drive that guy for 5. And just what you're doing to us there, Coach, set them up in those scenarios. We did try to give them success initially with just play it normal, normal, you two would switch over. I would say normal, normal. And then I might stand back here like this. And, now we see the guy can adjust the size of the thigh. So we're always trying to, wherever we can, put our kids in the position they're going to see on Saturday afternoon. In a way, I mean, that could be a bad situation. But like what I'm saying, go ahead and if he commits inside, you're probably going to be past it, I would hope. And I'm not saying that always happens, but if he's committing too far inside, he got pinned inside now. We're really off to the races there because we got my man. He's got this corner stalk. Unless they had a big time alley runner being free safety. Get there in a hurry now because that guy might get blocked. He might already be blocked. If he's blocked, then you're back to the free safety. And remember, don't say there's the free safety. There he is. Where's that free safety? Here's where you're going to meet the free safety out in here. Because he's going to see what's happening. He's not going to just stay there. Okay, all right, now, as we got a little bit better at this guy, we would have the halfback. Sorry, get out of there, halfbacks. We would get you out of there. And now, Coach, come on over here. Remember how we ran two? As an example. Run two motion. We like that in special perimeter, but we also, one thing I didn't show you, is we can run it out of pro three. You put a flanker in the game, it's the same thing, isn't it? We ran two across here, got split in over there. Well, now I line up in it, all right? And just as an example, we could do it with a halfback too. I'm just trying to make sure we get as many looks at you guys as we can. A little bit wider. Now you're not a halfback anymore. You're the flanker. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, the halfbacks are down there working on sweep again. I got no halfbacks in this drill whatsoever. As a matter of fact, the fullbacks sometimes weren't even on it. They're working on, fullback stayed here. All right, now, what I would do now is get these guys to be true quarterback. Coach, come on over here. You're a corner. And this is a true secondary guy. And this is a true strong safety that we got. Maybe it was some of the poor onions over there. And on defense, so we say, all right, let me have 4 secondary guys. I need you for 7 minutes. All right, Coach, we'll send them to you. So we get them. Now what we would do, I'd sit back, and we all knew this was lead option. 1 is run, 2 is lead option pass. You got it? So now we got a chance to work our option and our pass. I'm trying to hurry up here. Obviously we ran our pass on air a couple times first. You know what I mean? And so we got into the fast or whatever. What we felt like once we got it rolling was that we could do this almost like a live situation if we would do, 1 run, 2 pass. Staying behind back here, we felt like we got some great work now with these guys not being able to cheat. You know as well as I do, if you've got defense over here and say, okay, this is option drill. Well, hell, after a while, this guy's ready option drill. I'm going to come up here and tackle the pitch. So now if you want to do that, the way that we worked on our option passes, y'all know how we can put them in. Show you around, throw it on there, work with the quarterback, put a guy out there, show him how to do it, etc. But now this is later on in the day. Now, we're going to have basically a live drill. This is live stalk. This is basically a live drill, but it's one, or whatever you want to do it. Run, pass, you stand back there. So now the defenders cannot jump, and you get a chance, you really get a chance to live stalk, and now you get a chance to really get a look at what does it look like, a situation with the pass. So, that's how we handle how we handled lead option and lead option pass. We felt like that was the fastest way to really keep both the option and the pass until we got going. And obviously we would do it with a run through guy. You know what I mean? Give me one run through guy. But now we took out some of the other parts. We fixed the other parts earlier, but now we're just going to run with the guy and the guys are involved in the pass. And it was a great start drill and it was a great pass drill. Good for us to want to achieve. All right, man, I tell you what, let's go back in there, and I don't know what the time frame is, but let's take